Vampire slashers are back. Today we are talking about Abigail. This is from directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who make up Radio Silence. I've been a big fan of the movies that they've made in the past, Ready or Not in 2018, as well as the previous two Scream sequels. I think they have a very unique style and great sense of humor and just an overall approach that I'm a big fan of when it comes to horror movies. And to see that they were making another movie, and this time it being a vampire movie, I was very much on board. Now, I will say, if you're clicking on this video and up to this point you have somehow not seen a trailer or don't know anything about the movie at all, I would say click off, go watch the movie. I definitely recommend it, but try to go in completely blind. As much as the movie worked for me and there was a lot of stuff that I enjoyed and even twists and turns that I didn't expect, I do believe that the marketing for this movie gives away something that could have made this an even more enjoyable experience if most of us went in not knowing a single thing about it. But that's when marketing comes into play, and obviously they have to share some of those details just to get butts in seats. But diving into the movie, a group of would-be criminals kidnaps the 12-year-old daughter of a powerful underworld figure, holding her for ransom in an isolated mansion. Their plan starts to unravel when they discover their young captive is actually a bloodthirsty vampire. For what this movie sold itself to be, I think it completely delivered on that and then some. I had a blast with this movie from beginning to end. I went in with my expectations pretty high, but I was still hoping that there was something extra in the mix that maybe they weren't sharing in the marketing, some sort of extra element to it that would make it even more interesting, because as I said, in the marketing, they made it very clear that these criminals were going to be attacked by this vampire ballerina girl who they thought was just a regular little girl. They spoiled that in the marketing. So if there wasn't anything else to deliver, it would have been somewhat of a disappointment. Luckily, I would say that this movie plays its cards extremely well, and it never shows its hand until the very end. I don't know why I'm making poker references. This is a ballet movie. She pirouettes all over our expectations. I don't know what. The main premise that's promoted actually happens fairly quickly in the movie, and it just continues to progress, and there's more and more layers to be peeled back. And it seems like every time I had an idea of what direction it was going to go in, it always subverted those expectations. And I love when a movie is able to do that. That no matter how many predictions you have, how many things you may guess right, there is still more to be revealed. I think the setup and the execution was there, and it never really let up. Obviously, it being a vampire slasher flick, you expect there to be a lot of gory, bloody visuals, and there is no shortage of that in this movie. Exploding bodies, tons of blood, decapitations, everything you could want in a movie like this, they deliver on, and then some. It also knows what it's trying to be, and it never tries to be overly serious. Now, there are more dramatic moments, more moments to where the tension feels higher, but it is also extremely funny and tons of crude humor in the mix. It reminded me of what Radio Silence did with Ready or Not, but also with this group of characters, these oddballs who have a lot of time to just sit and talk with one another and show their personalities and have quips and all of these different humorous moments. The dynamic kind of almost reminded me of what we got in something like Knives Out from Rian Johnson, where they're able to just sit in a room and bounce off of each other and accuse each other of things before the big thing is revealed. And you can see each of them and their personalities come out as they're trying to piece together this mystery and what's actually going on. And the cast just sells all of those humorous moments very well. You've got Kevin Durand in there, who's the funny, stupid, big guy, and he has plenty of laugh out loud moments. Dan Stevens is just having himself a year already. He's already proven that he can be funny, but also very serious and sort of unsettling when he needs to be. This is also the last movie that Angus Cloud was in, who unfortunately passed away at the age of 25 last year, only weeks after filming this movie, but his character for what we got in here was very strong. I really enjoyed him. And then of course you got to talk about Melissa Barrera. She has proven herself to be the scream queen of this generation. Again, in this movie, she proves to be a very dynamic performer. She can ham it up when she needs to, but also be very, very serious and command the screen. She's not the type of scream queen that literally just sits there and screams and has no use. No, she's very much in the fight, and she makes you believe that she can take these people and these things that are coming at her. But the standout for me was Alisha Weir as the vampire ballerina. She's a newcomer in the mix. Previously, before this, she did the Matilda musical, and I really see a lot of potential for her to do great things. In a lot of ways, the film relies on her performance to work at all. She has to be both a believable, helpless child, but also really make you buy into it when she turns into that bloodthirsty vampire that's out for blood and wants to kill everybody. There's also a moment in the third act where she has to deliver a long stretch of monologue with a lot of layers to it, and you have to believe that she is really the character that she is claiming to be, and I believed it 100%. The amount of range that she displays at such a young age is very impressive, and I think, honestly, she gives one of the best young actor performances that I've seen in recent memory. It was very strong, very believable, and I enjoyed every second that her character was on screen. I am a massive fan of concepts to where characters are locked in the building with the person that is coming after them and they have no escape. It was sort of like Don't Breathe, to where you see the bad guys come in to try to take advantage of this old blind man, and he ends up being the one to kick their butts. When a film is set in one singular location, it begs for the artists involved to get really creative with their story and with everything around these characters to make it feel still lively and dynamic, even though they don't have a lot of room to work with. I felt like they took full advantage of every single set piece, every single character. They really made this house that they're trapped in feel alive and have layers to it that were constantly being explored throughout the runtime of the movie. Nothing ever got stale. But again, I really think that's credit to the writing here, because there were multiple times to where my expectations were completely subverted, and it took another turn and then another turn that I never would have saw coming, and it completely paid off. Now, it's going to come down to the individual viewer whether or not some of the elements that they explore here and some of the twists and turns work for you or not, but for me, this was everything I could have hoped for. I think the humor, the atmosphere, the tone, the cast of characters that they have in this movie all came together very, very well to provide a very enjoyable experience. And to me, there's really nothing more I could have asked for from a movie like this. So overall, Abigail is a strong entry into the vampire subgenre and some of Radio Silence's best work. Blood-soaked, consistently entertaining, and very clever, it takes needed time to build stakes and constantly subverts expectations. You're going to want to sink your teeth into this one. So with all that being said, I'm going to have to give Abigail an 8 out of 10.
I like it a lot.
Guys, as always, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this movie. Have you seen it? If so, did you like it or not? Also, tell me, what is your favorite Radio Silence movie to date? But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.